What if the greatest architectural achievements of our modern world were dwarfed by the ingenuity of ancient civilizations? Think about it, massive stone structures like the Pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge, and Puma Punku, built thousands of years ago without the aid of modern technology. These ancient sites weren't just impressive for their time, they defy explanation, even today. How did civilizations with no access to cranes, lasers, or advanced mathematics manage to carve, transport, and assemble stones weighing hundreds of tons with such precision? And what secrets do these monumental structures still hold? From the perfectly aligned stones of Stonehenge to the mind-bending geometry of Puma Punku, these ancient marvels challenge everything we think we know about human history and engineering. In this video, we'll uncover the mysteries behind these architectural wonders, exploring how ancient builders achieved what seems impossible even by today's standards. Get ready to rethink what you thought you knew about the past and discover the genius that has stood the test of time. Imagine walking through a landscape dotted with towering stone structures, each one a testament to the skill and vision of ancient builders. This is megalithic architecture, the art of constructing monumental works using massive stones, often left unworked or minimally shaped. From the mysterious dolmens of Europe to the Cyclopean walls of South America, these structures span the globe, each one a puzzle waiting to be solved. What ties them together is their sheer scale, precision, and the undeniable fact that they were built long before the advent of modern tools or machinery. One of the most striking features of megalithic architecture is the precision with which these stones were cut and fitted together. Take, for example, the interlocking joints found in the walls of Sacsayhuaman in Peru. These stones are so precisely carved that not even a sheet of paper can slide between them. And it's not just about the craftsmanship. These structures often align with celestial events like the summer solstice sunrise at Stonehenge or the equinox at Chichen Itza. These alignments suggest a deep understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering that seems almost impossible for their time. What's even more fascinating is how these structures challenge our understanding of technological progress. According to conventional timelines, the tools and knowledge required to build such monuments shouldn't have existed when they were constructed. Yet, here they stand, defying explanation and inviting us to reconsider what we know about human ingenuity. How did ancient civilizations achieve such feats without the technology we take for granted today? And what secrets might still be hidden within these ancient stones? As we marvel at these architectural wonders, it's worth asking, what tools and techniques did these builders use to move and shape these massive stones? The answers might surprise you, and they'll take us even deeper into the mysteries of megalithic construction. One of the most enduring questions about megalithic architecture is how ancient builders achieved such extraordinary precision with seemingly rudimentary tools. The tools believed to have been used copper chisels, stone hammers, and wooden levers might appear primitive by today's standards, but in the hands of skilled craftsmen, they were capable of remarkable feats. For instance, at the ancient site of Baalbek in Lebanon, we find some of the largest stones ever quarried by human hands, each weighing hundreds of tons. How did ancient engineers move and position these colossal blocks with such accuracy? One theory points to the use of abrasives like sand or quartz, which could have been combined with water to create a grinding effect, allowing builders to shape and smooth stone surfaces with incredible precision. Another intriguing idea is the concept of stone softening, a process where certain natural substances might have been applied to temporarily soften stone, making it easier to carve. While this remains speculative, it offers a fascinating glimpse into the potential ingenuity of these ancient craftsmen. Even more astonishing are the theories surrounding advanced techniques like acoustic levitation. Some researchers propose that sound frequencies could have been used to manipulate or even lift massive stones, a concept that, while controversial, aligns with accounts from various ancient cultures about the use of sound in construction. Whether or not these methods were employed, they challenge our assumptions about the limits of ancient technology. The precision seen at sites like Baalbek isn't just about moving stones, it's about placing them with exacting accuracy. The trilithons at Baalbek, for example, are so perfectly aligned that even modern engineers struggle to explain how such precision was achieved without sophisticated measuring tools. This raises an even bigger question. Did these builders possess a deeper understanding of mathematics and geometry than we've given them credit for? As we marvel at the tools and techniques that made these wonders possible, it's worth considering how these feats of engineering were guided by an intricate knowledge of mathematics and astronomy. How did ancient civilizations calculate angles, alignments, and proportions with such precision? The answers might lie in the stars and in the minds of those who saw the universe not just as a mystery but as a blueprint. What if the ancient builders of these monumental structures weren't just skilled engineers, but also brilliant mathematicians and astronomers? When we look closer at sites like Stonehenge and Chichen Itza, it becomes clear that their designs were more than just awe-inspiring. They were rooted in precise mathematical principles and celestial knowledge. Take the golden ratio, for example, a mathematical concept found in nature and art, which appears in the proportions of the Great Pyramid of Giza. This ratio, often associated with harmony and balance, suggests that these builders had a sophisticated understanding of geometry, even if they didn't call it by the same name we use today. Similarly, the use of pi, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, can be seen in the dimensions of the Great Pyramid. The relationship between the pyramid's height and the perimeter of its base is remarkably close to the value of pi, a detail that seems too precise to be a coincidence. These mathematical feats hint at a level of knowledge that challenges our assumptions about ancient civilizations. Were these principles discovered independently, or were they part of a shared body of wisdom passed down through generations? But the genius of these ancient builders didn't stop at mathematics. Many megalithic sites are aligned with celestial events, serving as both calendars and sacred spaces. Stonehenge, for instance, is famously oriented to capture the summer solstice sunrise, a moment when the sun aligns perfectly with the heel stone. This alignment wasn't just for show, it likely held deep cultural and religious significance, marking the changing of seasons and the rhythms of life. Similarly, the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza is designed so that during the spring and autumn equinoxes, the play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent descending the pyramid steps. This phenomenon, known as the serpent effect, is a testament to the builder's mastery of both astronomy and architecture. These alignments weren't arbitrary, they were deliberate, reflecting a worldview where the heavens and the earth were deeply interconnected. For these ancient cultures, the movements of the sun, moon, and stars weren't just celestial events. They were sacred markers of time, guiding everything from agricultural cycles to religious ceremonies. This connection between the cosmos and the earth is a recurring theme in megalithic architecture, suggesting that these structures were as much about spiritual understanding as they were about physical construction. As we marvel at the mathematical and astronomical brilliance of these ancient sites, it's worth considering how these achievements were intertwined with the cultural and spiritual lives of their builders. What role did these monumental structures play in their societies? How did they shape the identity and worldview of the people who built them? These questions lead us to the next chapter of the story, a closer look at the cultural significance of these architectural wonders and the civilizations that created them. The towering stones of megalithic sites were more than just feats of engineering. They were profound expressions of culture, spirituality, and human connection to the cosmos. For the civilizations that built them, these structures were sacred spaces, serving as temples, tombs, and ceremonial centers that bridged the earthly and the divine. The very materials they used, stone, carried deep symbolic meaning. Stone represented permanence, strength, and a link to the eternal, qualities that resonated with their spiritual beliefs and worldview. Take the Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance. Its precise alignment with Orion's belt wasn't just an architectural flourish, it was a deliberate choice rooted in Egyptian cosmology. The 3 stars of Orion's belt were associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and the pyramid's alignment mirrored the heavens, symbolizing the pharaoh's journey to immortality. This celestial connection wasn't unique to Egypt. Across the globe, megalithic structures often reflect a deep reverence for the sky, with their alignments serving as both physical and spiritual compasses. In the Andes, the ancient city of Machu Picchu stands as a testament to the spiritual harmony between humanity and nature. Built high in the mountains, this sacred site was not only a marvel of engineering but also a place of worship and pilgrimage. The Intihuatana stone, often called the hitching post of the sun, is believed to have been used in rituals tied to the solstices, marking the sun's annual journey and its life-giving power. For the Inca, the stones of Machu Picchu were more than building materials, they were conduits of spiritual energy, connecting the living with the gods and the natural world. The cultural significance of these structures extends beyond their religious functions. They were also symbols of power, unity, and identity. Building such monumental works required not only technical skill but also a shared vision and collective effort. The very act of construction may have been a form of communal worship, a way to honor the gods and reinforce social bonds. These sites were places where the sacred and the everyday intersected, where rituals, celebrations, and even governance took place under the watchful gaze of the heavens. As we reflect on the cultural and spiritual dimensions of megalithic architecture, it's impossible to ignore the sheer scale of these projects. The stones used in their construction weren't just heavy, they were colossal. How did ancient builders transport these massive blocks across great distances, often through challenging terrain? The answer lies in a combination of ingenuity, determination, and perhaps a touch of mystery, a topic we'll explore next as we delve into the logistics of moving these monumental stones. The question of how ancient builders moved colossal stones across vast distances is one of the most perplexing puzzles of megalithic architecture. Imagine the sheer effort required to transport a single stone weighing hundreds of tons. Now imagine doing it without modern machinery, over rugged terrain, and with only the tools and techniques available thousands of years ago. How did they achieve what seems impossible even by today's standards? One of the most widely accepted theories involves the use of sledges and rollers. Ancient Egyptians, for example, are believed to have hauled massive stone blocks on wooden sledges, pulling them along paths lubricated with water or mud to reduce friction. This method, depicted in tomb paintings, highlights their practical ingenuity. Similarly, the builders of Stonehenge may have used log rollers to move the massive sarsen stones from quarries miles away, employing a combination of manpower and leverage to navigate uneven ground. But not all stone transportation relied solely on brute force. Some cultures turned to nature itself for assistance. The Rapa Nui people of Easter Island, for instance, are thought to have used a combination of ropes and a rocking motion to walk their iconic moai statues into place. This innovative technique, though labor-intensive, demonstrates a profound understanding of balance and physics. Water also played a crucial role in some projects. In ancient Egypt, the colossi of Memnon, massive statues weighing over 700 tons each, were transported from quarries to their final locations using a network of canals. By floating these enormous stones on barges during the annual Nile flood, builders could move them with relative ease compared to dragging them overland. This clever use of natural resources reveals a level of strategic planning that rivals modern engineering. Of course, the challenges didn't end with moving the stones. Navigating steep inclines, dense forests, and rocky terrain required not just physical strength but also creative problem-solving. The builders of Sacsayhuaman in Peru, for example, faced the daunting task of transporting massive limestone blocks uphill to their mountaintop site. How they accomplished this feat remains a mystery, but it likely involved a combination of ramps, levers, and sheer determination. These methods, though varied, share a common thread: a deep understanding of physics, materials, and the environment. Each civilization adapted its techniques to the resources and challenges at hand, showcasing a level of ingenuity that continues to inspire awe. As we marvel at the logistics of moving these monumental stones, another question arises: how did ancient builders achieve such precision in cutting and shaping them? The answer lies in the tools, techniques, and knowledge they employed, a mystery we'll explore next. The precision with which ancient builders cut and fitted megalithic stones is nothing short of astounding. At sites like Sacsayhuaman in Peru and Ollantaytambo, the stones are so perfectly joined that even a razor blade can't slip between them. These near-flawless fits raise a tantalizing question: how did civilizations without modern tools achieve such extraordinary accuracy? One possibility lies in the use of templates or patterns. Ancient craftsmen may have created wooden or stone models to guide their work, ensuring that each block fit precisely with its neighbors. This method would have required not only patience but also a deep understanding of geometry and spatial relationships. At Ollantaytambo, for example, the stones are shaped with intricate angles and curves, suggesting that builders used some form of measurement system to achieve such consistency. Another theory points to the use of advanced measuring tools, possibly lost to history. While we often think of ancient tools as rudimentary, some researchers speculate that these civilizations may have developed sophisticated instruments like protractors or plumb bobs to ensure exact angles and alignments. The precision seen in the walls of Sacsayhuaman, where stones interlock like a three-dimensional puzzle, hints at a level of technical knowledge that rivals modern engineering. But what if the answer goes beyond tools and templates? Some researchers propose that ancient builders possessed knowledge or technologies that have since been forgotten. The concept of stone softening, where certain substances could temporarily alter the hardness of stone, is one such idea. While controversial, this theory could explain how builders achieved such intricate carvings without the use of metal tools. Similarly, the idea of acoustic levitation using sound frequencies to manipulate stone has been suggested, though it remains speculative. These theories, while unproven, invite us to reconsider the limits of ancient ingenuity. Whether through meticulous craftsmanship, advanced tools, or lost technologies, the precision of megalithic stone cutting challenges our understanding of what ancient civilizations were capable of. And yet, the mystery doesn't end with cutting and fitting stones. Some researchers believe that sound itself may have played a role in the construction of these monumental sites. Could the ancient builders have harnessed the power of acoustics to shape, move, or even elevate these massive stones? This intriguing possibility opens the door to a fascinating exploration of how sound and vibration may have been integral to megalithic architecture, a topic we'll delve into next. What if the ancient builders of megalithic sites didn't just rely on physical tools, but also harnessed the power of sound to shape and move their colossal stones? This intriguing idea has gained traction among researchers who suggest that sound frequencies might have played a key role in the construction of these monumental structures. From the resonant chambers of Newgrange to the eerie acoustics of the hypogeum of Hal Saflieni, there's evidence that sound was more than just a byproduct of these sites. It may have been a tool. Take the hypogeum of Hal Saflieni in Malta, for example. This underground labyrinth, carved into solid limestone over 5,000 years ago, is known for its extraordinary acoustic properties. Certain chambers resonate at specific frequencies, creating echoes that linger and amplify sound in ways that seem almost otherworldly. Some researchers believe these acoustic effects weren't accidental, but were intentionally designed, possibly for ceremonial purposes or even as a means of manipulating stone. Could these ancient builders have used sound to soften or shape the limestone, making it easier to carve and transport? Similarly, at Newgrange in Ireland, the passage tomb's design creates a unique acoustic environment. The narrow, stone-lined corridors amplify sound, producing a resonant hum that some believe could have been used in rituals or as part of the construction process. The idea that sound frequencies might have been used to move or position stones, while speculative, isn't entirely far-fetched. Modern experiments have shown that certain frequencies can influence the behavior of materials, causing them to vibrate or even levitate under specific conditions. Could ancient civilizations have discovered this principle thousands of years ago? The concept of acoustic levitation using sound waves to lift or manipulate objects has been proposed as a possible explanation for how massive stones were moved with such precision. While this theory remains controversial, it aligns with accounts from various ancient cultures, including Tibetan and Egyptian traditions, which describe the use of sound in construction. Whether these stories are literal or symbolic, they suggest that sound held a profound significance for these builders, one that went beyond mere utility. As we explore the role of acoustics in megalithic construction, it's worth considering how sound might have been integrated into the spiritual and practical aspects of these sites. The resonances and echoes found in places like the Hypogeum and Newgrange hint at a deeper connection between sound, stone, and the sacred. But sound isn't the only force that may have guided the placement of these structures. What if the alignment of megalithic sites wasn't just about the stars above, but also the energy flowing through the earth itself? This idea takes us into the fascinating world of Earth's energy grids and their potential role in ancient architecture, a topic we'll delve into next. What if the placement of ancient megalithic sites wasn't just about celestial alignments or architectural precision, but also about harnessing the Earth's own energy? Some researchers propose that these monumental structures were built on ley lines, invisible pathways of energy that crisscross the planet, or at powerful energy vortexes, places where the Earth's natural forces are said to converge. This idea suggests that ancient builders may have chosen their locations not just for practical or symbolic reasons, but to tap into the very pulse of the planet itself. Take the Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance. Beyond its alignment with Orion's belt, the pyramid is also positioned at a precise point on the Earth's surface where magnetic anomalies have been detected. Some studies suggest that the pyramid's design and placement could amplify or interact with the Earth's magnetic field, creating a unique energy dynamic. Could this explain why the pyramid has long been associated with mysterious phenomena, from preserving organic materials to influencing human perception? Stonehenge, too, seems to resonate with the Earth's energy patterns. The site sits at the intersection of several ley lines, and some researchers believe its circular arrangement of stones may act as a kind of energy conductor. Visitors to the site often report feeling a profound sense of connection or even physical sensations, as if the stones themselves are alive with energy. Whether these experiences are psychological or rooted in something more tangible, they hint at the possibility that Stonehenge was designed to interact with the natural forces of the Earth. Even more intriguing are the theories surrounding sites like Machu Picchu and the Temple of the Sun in Peru. These locations are often described as being situated on powerful energy vortexes, places where the Earth's electromagnetic field is particularly strong. For the Inca, these sites were sacred, not just for their beauty or strategic location, but because they were believed to be portals to the spiritual world. The alignment of these structures with Earth's energy grids suggests that ancient builders saw the planet as a living, breathing entity, one that could be harmonized with through architecture. This connection between megalithic sites and Earth's energy raises profound questions about the knowledge and intentions of ancient civilizations. Were they guided by a deeper understanding of the planet's natural forces, or did they simply stumble upon these powerful locations by chance? Either way, the idea that these structures were built to interact with the Earth's energy invites us to rethink their purpose, not just as monuments or tombs, but as active participants in a cosmic dialogue between humanity and nature. As we consider the possibility that these ancient sites were designed to harness Earth's energy, it's worth asking how old these structures truly are. Could their placement on ley lines or energy vortexes hint at a timeline that stretches even further back than we've imagined? This question takes us into a fascinating and often controversial debate: the true age of these architectural wonders and what it means for our understanding of human history. Determining the age of megalithic sites is no simple task. Unlike more recent historical structures, these ancient wonders lack written records or inscriptions that could provide clear timelines. Even organic materials like wood or bone, which are often used for carbon dating, are scarce or non-existent at many sites. This leaves researchers to rely on a combination of geological analysis, stratigraphy, and advanced dating techniques methods that don't always agree with one another. The result, a fascinating but often contentious debate about when these structures were truly built. Take Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey, for example. Discovered in the mid-90s, this site has been a game-changer in our understanding of ancient history. Dating back to around 9600 BC, Göbekli Tepe predates the advent of agriculture and even pottery, challenging the traditional narrative that monumental architecture only emerged after settled farming communities. The implications are staggering. If this site is indeed that old, it suggests that complex societies and advanced construction techniques existed far earlier than previously thought. But not all researchers agree on the timeline. While carbon dating of organic materials found at Göbekli Tepe points to an extremely ancient origin, some argue that the stones themselves could have been reused or repurposed from even older structures, skewing the results. This debate isn't unique to Göbekli Tepe. At sites like Stonehenge, conflicting dates have emerged depending on whether researchers focus on the stone structures themselves or the surrounding soil layers. These discrepancies highlight the challenges of dating megalithic sites and remind us that the story of human history is far from settled. Modern technology has brought new tools to the table, but even these aren't foolproof. Radiocarbon dating, for instance, can only be used on organic materials like charcoal or bone, which aren't always present at megalithic sites. When they are, contamination or improper handling can lead to inaccurate results. Geological techniques such as analyzing the weathering patterns on stone surfaces offer another approach, but these too are subject to interpretation. The result is a patchwork of evidence that often raises more questions than it answers. What's particularly intriguing are the sites that defy conventional timelines altogether. Places like Gunung Padang in Indonesia or the submerged structures off the coast of Japan have been proposed to be much older than mainstream archaeology suggests. These claims, while controversial, force us to reconsider the origins of human civilization. Could there have been advanced societies long before the rise of Mesopotamia or Egypt? And if so, why is there so little evidence left behind? As we grapple with these questions, it's clear that the dating of megalithic sites isn't just a technical challenge, it's a window into the complexity of human history. Each new discovery has the potential to rewrite the timeline of our past, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. And if some of these sites are indeed older than we've imagined, it opens the door to an even more tantalizing possibility: the existence of lost civilizations whose achievements and knowledge have been erased by time. This idea takes us into the next chapter of the story, a deeper look at the enigmatic possibility of a forgotten chapter in human history. What if the story of human civilization is missing a chapter, one filled with advanced societies whose achievements have been lost to time? This idea isn't just the stuff of science fiction. It's a theory that some researchers take seriously, especially when faced with the mind-bending complexity of megalithic structures. From the underwater ruins of Yonaguni in Japan to the impossibly precise stonework of Puma Punku in Bolivia, these sites seem to defy the timeline of human progress as we know it. Could they be the remnants of a civilization that predates recorded history? Take Yonaguni, for example. Discovered off the coast of Japan in the mid-80s, these submerged structures feature massive stone terraces, staircases, and what appear to be carved arches. While some scientists argue that these formations are naturally occurring, others point to the geometric precision and symmetry of the site as evidence of human hands. If these ruins are indeed man-made, they could date back over 10,000 years, long before the rise of known civilizations. This raises a tantalizing question: who built them and why? Then there's Puma Punku, a site in Bolivia that continues to baffle archaeologists and engineers alike. The stones here are cut with such precision that they fit together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, with perfectly straight edges and intricate angles that seem impossible to achieve without advanced tools. Some of these stones weigh over 100 tons, yet they were transported from quarries miles away. How did a society without metal tools or the wheel accomplish such feats? The complexity of Puma Punku has led some to speculate that its builders had access to knowledge or technologies far beyond what we've attributed to ancient cultures. These sites don't just challenge our understanding of history, they force us to reconsider the very timeline of human development. Mainstream archaeology tells us that complex societies emerged around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago with the rise of Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. But if places like Yonaguni and Puma Punku are indeed much older, it suggests that advanced civilizations may have existed long before, only to vanish without a trace. The implications are profound. Could these structures be the last remnants of a lost world, one that mastered engineering, astronomy, and even global navigation? Of course, not everyone agrees with these theories. Critics argue that the evidence is circumstantial, pointing out that natural processes can create rock formations that resemble man-made structures. They also emphasize the lack of written records or artifacts to support the existence of such advanced societies. Yet, the sheer scale and precision of these sites keep the debate alive, inviting us to keep an open mind about humanity's past. As we explore these mysteries, one thing becomes clear: the story of human history is far from complete. Each new discovery has the potential to rewrite what we thought we knew, reminding us that the past is full of surprises. And if these sites are indeed the work of lost civilizations, they leave us with a powerful legacy, one that continues to inspire and challenge us today. This brings us to the next chapter of our journey: how the ingenuity of ancient builders has influenced modern engineering and architecture. From skyscrapers to space exploration, the echoes of megalithic genius can still be seen in the world around us. How have these ancient techniques shaped the way we build today? Let's find out. The ingenuity of ancient builders didn't just leave behind awe-inspiring monuments, it laid the groundwork for innovations that shape our world today. Modern architects and engineers are increasingly turning to the past for inspiration, finding that the techniques used in megalithic construction hold valuable lessons for contemporary design. From earthquake-resistant structures to sustainable building practices, the legacy of ancient engineering continues to influence how we build in the modern age. Take the concept of interlocking stonework, for example. The precision with which ancient builders fit massive stones together without mortar, like those at Sacsayhuamon or Ollantaytambo, has inspired modern seismic-resistant designs. Engineers have discovered that structures with interlocking joints, much like those used by the Inca, can better withstand the shifting forces of earthquakes. This principle has been applied in everything from bridges to skyscrapers, proving that ancient techniques are not just relics of the past but tools for the future. Sustainability is another area where ancient wisdom is making a comeback. The builders of megalithic sites often worked in harmony with their environment, using locally sourced materials and designing structures that blended seamlessly into the landscape. This approach has found new life in modern green architecture, where the emphasis is on minimizing environmental impact and maximizing efficiency. For instance, the passive cooling techniques used in ancient structures, like the wind-catching towers of Persia, are now being adapted for energy-efficient buildings that reduce reliance on artificial climate control. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of ancient engineering is its timelessness. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, has stood for over 4,500 years, enduring not just the passage of time but also the forces of nature. Modern engineers are studying its geometric perfection and material durability to develop stronger, longer-lasting construction methods. The pyramid's ability to distribute weight evenly and resist weathering offers insights that could revolutionize how we build in extreme environments, from deserts to polar regions. Even the alignment of ancient sites with celestial events has inspired modern innovations. The precision with which Stonehenge or Chichen Itza track the movements of the sun and stars has led to a renewed interest in using natural light and solar energy in architecture. Today, buildings are being designed to optimize sunlight, reduce energy consumption, and create spaces that feel connected to the natural world, a concept that ancient builders mastered millennia ago. As we continue to uncover the secrets of megalithic construction, one thing becomes clear: the past is not just a place to look back on, it's a source of inspiration for the future. By studying these ancient marvels, we're not only preserving their legacy but also discovering new ways to tackle the challenges of our own time. And while the influence of ancient engineering on modern design is undeniable, there's another layer to these sites that captivates the imagination: the myths and legends that surround them. From tales of gods and giants to stories of lost civilizations, these narratives add a rich layer of mystery and wonder to the stones themselves. What truths might these ancient stories hold, and how do they shape our understanding of these enigmatic structures? That's where our journey takes us next. The towering stones of ancient megalithic sites have long inspired not just awe, but also stories, tales of gods, giants, and beings beyond human imagination. These myths and legends, passed down through generations, reflect the profound impact these structures had on the people who built them and those who came after. Far from being mere superstitions, these stories often encode cultural memories, spiritual beliefs, and even practical knowledge about the sites themselves. Take Stonehenge, for example. Long before modern archaeologists began to unravel its mysteries, local folklore spoke of giants who carried the massive sarsen stones across the landscape and set them in place with ease. Some legends even credited Merlin, the wizard of Arthurian lore, with magically transporting the stones from Ireland. While these tales may seem fantastical, they reveal how ancient people grappled with the seemingly impossible scale and precision of these structures. The stories of giants and wizards were their way of explaining what they couldn't fully understand, a testament to the enduring mystery of Stonehenge. In the Andes, the myths surrounding megalithic sites like Sacsayhuaman and Ollantaytambo often center on divine intervention. The Inca believed that their gods, particularly Viracocha, the creator deity, had a hand in the construction of these monumental works. According to legend, Viracocha could command the stones to move and fit together perfectly, a power that mirrored the Incas' own reverence for the natural world. These stories weren't just about explaining the unexplainable. They were a way of connecting the physical world with the spiritual, embedding these sites within a larger cosmic order. Oral traditions played a crucial role in preserving these myths, and in some cases they may have also encoded practical knowledge. For instance, the Maori of New Zealand have stories about their ancestors using chants and rhythmic movements to transport massive stones, a technique that some researchers believe could have been rooted in actual construction methods. Similarly, in Ireland, the folklore surrounding Newgrange includes tales of its builders using music or sound to shape and position the stones. While these accounts are often dismissed as mere legend, they hint at the possibility that ancient cultures possessed sophisticated techniques that have since been forgotten. These myths and legends do more than just entertain. They remind us that megalithic sites were more than just architectural achievements. They were sacred spaces imbued with meaning and purpose where the physical and spiritual worlds intersected. The stories surrounding them reflect the deep reverence ancient cultures had for these places, a reverence that continues to inspire wonder today. As we ponder the role of folklore in preserving the legacy of these sites, it's worth considering how water, another powerful force of nature, may have shaped their construction and purpose. From canals to sacred springs, water played a central role in the design and function of many megalithic sites. How did ancient builders harness this vital resource, and what secrets might it hold about their methods and beliefs? That's where our journey takes us next. Water, a life-giving force and a tool of immense power, may have played a far greater role in megalithic construction than we've ever imagined. From shaping and transporting stones to serving as a sacred element in ceremonial spaces, water's influence on these ancient sites is both practical and profound. How did civilizations harness this vital resource to achieve feats that still leave us in awe today? One compelling theory suggests that water was used as a lubricant to move massive stones. Imagine the ancient Egyptians hauling limestone blocks across the desert. By wetting the sand in front of wooden sledges, they could reduce friction and make the stones easier to pull. This method, depicted in tomb paintings, shows how even a simple use of water could transform an impossible task into a manageable one. Similarly, the builders of Stonehenge may have used water to smooth the path for log rollers, allowing them to transport massive sarsen stones over uneven terrain. But water's role wasn't limited to transportation. At sites like Tiwanaku in Bolivia, intricate water channels and aqueducts suggest that ancient engineers had a deep understanding of hydraulics. These channels weren't just for irrigation, they may have been used to carve and shape stones. By directing a steady flow of water mixed with abrasive materials like sand, builders could grind and smooth stone surfaces with remarkable precision. This technique, known as water erosion, offers a fascinating explanation for the perfectly fitted stones found at places like Puma Punku. Even more intriguing are the submerged structures that hint at water's symbolic and practical significance. Take the ancient city of Dwarka, said to have been submerged off the coast of India. According to legend, Dwarka was a thriving city built by the god Krishna, only to be swallowed by the sea. While the story may be mythical, underwater explorations have revealed stone structures and artifacts that suggest a real connection to ancient engineering. Could these submerged ruins be evidence of a civilization that mastered both land and water in their construction practices? water's role in megalithic sites wasn't just about practicality, it was also deeply symbolic. Many ancient cultures viewed water as a sacred element, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. The placement of structures near springs, rivers, or even artificial lakes often reflected this spiritual connection. For example, the Inca built Machu Picchu's fountains and channels not just to supply water, but to honor its life-giving properties, integrating it into their rituals and cosmology. As we explore the ways water shaped megalithic construction, it's impossible not to marvel at the ingenuity of these ancient builders. Whether as a tool, a resource, or a symbol, water was woven into the very fabric of their architectural achievements. But water isn't the only element that carried deep meaning for these civilizations. The designs and patterns etched into megalithic stones often held symbolic significance, reflecting a worldview where every line and curve told a story. What secrets do these designs hold, and how do they connect us to the minds of those who created them? That's where our journey takes us next. The designs etched into megalithic stones are more than just decorative. They are windows into the minds of the ancient builders who created them. Every spiral, zigzag, and geometric pattern carries layers of meaning, reflecting a deep connection between architecture, cosmology, and spirituality. These motifs were not arbitrary. They were carefully chosen to convey ideas about the universe, the cycles of life, and humanity's place within the cosmos. Take the spiral carvings at Newgrange in Ireland, for instance. This ancient passage tomb, built over 5,000 years ago, features intricate spirals that wind inward and outward, creating a sense of endless motion. Scholars believe these spirals may symbolize the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, a theme echoed in the tomb's alignment with the winter solstice sunrise. As the sun's rays penetrate the chamber on the shortest day of the year, illuminating the carvings, it's as if the builders were capturing a moment of cosmic harmony, blending art, science, and spirituality into a single, breathtaking design. In the American Southwest, the celestial alignments of Choco Canyon reveal another layer of symbolic meaning. The ancient Puebloans who built this complex carefully positioned their structures to align with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The Great Kiva, a massive circular chamber, is thought to have served as both a ceremonial space and an astronomical observatory. Its design, with its precise geometry and alignment, reflects a sophisticated understanding of celestial cycles and a desire to connect with the rhythms of the natural world. For these builders, the patterns in the stones were not just decorative, they were a way of mapping the heavens and honoring the forces that governed their lives. Sacred ratios like the golden ratio also appear in megalithic designs, hinting at a universal language of harmony and proportion. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, embodies this ratio in its proportions, creating a structure that feels both monumental and perfectly balanced. This mathematical precision suggests that ancient builders had a profound grasp of geometry, one that went beyond practical construction to touch on the very essence of beauty and order. These symbolic designs were not just abstract concepts, they were deeply tied to the spiritual and cultural lives of the people who created them. The patterns in the stones served as a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a way to communicate with the gods or ancestors who watched over them. They remind us that megalithic architecture was not just about building structures, it was about creating spaces that resonated with meaning and purpose. As we marvel at the artistry and symbolism of these ancient designs, it's worth considering how we can preserve this legacy for future generations. The passage of time, environmental changes, and even human activity threaten these fragile sites, raising urgent questions about how we can protect them. What challenges do we face in safeguarding these architectural wonders, and what lessons can we learn from the past to guide our efforts? That's where our journey takes us next. Preserving the ancient wonders of megalithic architecture is a race against time. These monumental structures, which have stood for thousands of years, now face unprecedented threats from climate change, tourism, and urban development. Rising global temperatures, for example, are causing extreme weather patterns that erode stone surfaces and destabilize foundations. At sites like Stonehenge, the shifting climate has led to increased soil moisture, which can weaken the stones and alter their alignment. Meanwhile, in coastal regions, rising sea levels threaten to submerge structures like the submerged ruins of Yonaguni, erasing them from the map before their mysteries can be fully understood. Tourism, while essential for raising awareness and funding preservation efforts, also poses significant risks. The sheer volume of visitors to iconic sites like Machu Picchu or the Great Pyramid of Giza can lead to physical wear and tear. Foot traffic wears down ancient pathways, while the oils from human hands slowly degrade stone surfaces. In some cases, well-meaning tourists have even caused irreversible damage by climbing on fragile structures or carving their names into sacred stones. Balancing public access with preservation is a delicate dance, one that requires careful planning and constant vigilance. Urban development adds another layer of complexity. As cities expand, they often encroach on ancient sites, threatening their integrity. In places like Cairo, the rapid growth of modern infrastructure has placed immense pressure on the Giza plateau, with pollution and construction vibrations posing risks to the pyramids. Similarly, in Turkey, the ancient site of Göbekli Tepe sits precariously close to agricultural land, where plowing and irrigation could damage its delicate layers. Protecting these sites often means navigating complex legal and political landscapes, where the interests of developers, governments, and preservationists frequently clash. Efforts to safeguard these treasures are underway, with organizations like UNESCO playing a crucial role. World Heritage designations help raise awareness and provide funding for conservation projects, but they also come with challenges. The influx of tourists drawn by these prestigious titles can sometimes exacerbate the very problems they aim to solve. Meanwhile, restoration efforts must walk a fine line between preserving the original integrity of the site and making it accessible to the public. Techniques like 3D scanning and digital mapping are now being used to document these structures in unprecedented detail, creating virtual replicas that can be studied without risking harm to the originals. But preservation isn't just about protecting stones, it's about honoring the stories they tell. These sites are more than relics of the past, they are living connections to the people who built them, their cultures, and their beliefs. As we work to preserve them, we must also grapple with ethical questions. How much should we alter these sites to make them accessible? Who has the right to decide their future? These dilemmas remind us that the preservation of megalithic architecture is not just a technical challenge, it's a deeply human one. As we reflect on the challenges of safeguarding these ancient wonders, it's worth considering how much of their story remains untold. What secrets lie buried beneath the stones, waiting to be uncovered? This question takes us into the next chapter of our journey: the role of archaeology in unraveling the mysteries of megalithic sites. From groundbreaking discoveries to cutting-edge technology, the field of archaeology is shedding new light on these ancient marvels and rewriting the story of human history in the process. Modern archaeology has become a thrilling blend of ancient mysteries and cutting-edge technology. Tools like LiDAR, or light detection and ranging, and ground-penetrating radar have revolutionized how we study megalithic sites, uncovering secrets that were once hidden beneath layers of earth and time. These technologies allow researchers to peer beneath the surface without disturbing the fragile structures, revealing lost cities, hidden chambers, and entire landscapes that were invisible to the naked eye. Take LiDAR, for example. This laser-based technology has transformed our understanding of sites like Angkor Wat in Cambodia. By scanning the dense jungle canopy, archaeologists have discovered an entire network of ancient roads, temples, and reservoirs that paint a far more complex picture of the Khmer Empire than previously imagined. Similarly, at Stonehenge, LiDAR surveys have revealed a sprawling ceremonial landscape, complete with burial mounds and processional pathways, that suggests the site was far more than just a circle of stones. It was the heart of a vast ritual complex. Ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, has been equally transformative. This technology sends electromagnetic pulses into the ground, mapping subsurface features with incredible precision. At places like the Great Pyramid of Giza, GPR has detected voids and hidden chambers that could rewrite our understanding of how the pyramid was built and what it was used for. These discoveries not only deepen our appreciation for ancient engineering, but also raise tantalizing questions about the purpose and symbolism of these structures. But the true power of modern archaeology lies in its interdisciplinary approach. By combining technology with fields like geology, anthropology, and even astrophysics, researchers can piece together a more comprehensive picture of these ancient sites. For instance, at Chichen Itza, studies of the acoustics within the Temple of Kukulkan have revealed how the structure was designed to amplify sound, possibly to enhance the experience of rituals or ceremonies. Meanwhile, geologists studying the stone quarries of Baalbek have provided new insights into how massive blocks were extracted and transported, shedding light on the logistical challenges faced by ancient builders. These discoveries remind us that megalithic sites are more than just stones. They are intricate tapestries of human ingenuity, culture, and spirituality. Each new finding adds another thread to the story, helping us understand not just how these structures were built, but why they mattered to the people who created them. As we continue to uncover the secrets of these ancient wonders, one question looms large: how did the builders of these sites use their knowledge of the stars to guide their work? The connection between megaliths and ancient astronomy is a fascinating frontier, one that reveals a profound relationship between humanity and the cosmos. That's where our journey takes us next. The skies above were more than just a source of wonder for ancient civilizations. They were a guide, a calendar, and a sacred map. Many megalithic sites, far from being simple stone structures, were ingeniously designed to track the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. These ancient observatories reveal a profound understanding of celestial cycles, blending science and spirituality in ways that continue to astonish us today. One of the most striking examples is Chichen Itza in Mexico. The Temple of Kukulkan, a towering pyramid at the heart of this ancient city, is a masterpiece of astronomical alignment. During the spring and autumn equinoxes, the play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid steps, a phenomenon known as the serpent effect. This breathtaking display wasn't just for show. It marked the changing of seasons, signaling the time to plant or harvest crops. The precision of this alignment speaks to the Mayas' deep knowledge of the solar calendar, a system so accurate it rivals modern methods. But the Maya weren't alone in their celestial pursuits. Across the Atlantic, in the windswept landscape of Scotland's Isle of Lewis, stands the Callanish Stones. This mysterious circle of standing stones, erected around 5,000 years ago, is believed to have been used to track lunar cycles. The stones are arranged in a cruciform pattern, with a central stone circle and radiating avenues that align with key points in the Moon's complex 6-year cycle. For the ancient people who built Callanish, the moon wasn't just a light in the night sky. It was a marker of time, a guide for rituals, and a connection to the divine. These astronomical alignments weren't limited to isolated sites. At Newgrange in Ireland, a narrow passageway leads to a chamber that is illuminated by the winter solstice sunrise, flooding the inner sanctum with light for just a few precious minutes. This fleeting moment, captured once a year, was likely a powerful symbol of rebirth and renewal, tying the cycles of the sun to the rhythms of life. Similarly, at Stonehenge, the alignment of the heel stone with the summer solstice sunrise suggests that the site served as both a calendar and a place of pilgrimage, where people gathered to celebrate the turning of the seasons. What's truly remarkable is how these ancient cultures, separated by vast distances and time, arrived at similar insights about the heavens. Whether it was the Maya in Mesoamerica, the builders of Callanish in Scotland, or the architects of Newgrange in Ireland, each civilization developed sophisticated methods to observe and record celestial events. This shared knowledge hints at a universal human impulse to understand the cosmos and our place within it. As we marvel at the scientific achievements of these ancient astronomers, it's worth considering how their knowledge extended beyond the stars. The same ingenuity that allowed them to chart the heavens also shaped their interactions with the Earth and with each other. This brings us to the next chapter of the story, the role of megalithic sites in ancient trade networks, where the movement of people, goods, and ideas created a web of connections that spanned continents. The towering stones of megalithic sites weren't just monuments to the heavens or feats of engineering. They were also vital hubs in the bustling trade networks of the ancient world. From the Karnak stones in France to the mysterious megaliths scattered across the Arabian Peninsula, these structures served as waypoints, meeting places, and even symbols of power that connected distant cultures and fueled economic activity. But how did these massive stones become such integral parts of ancient trade? Let's start with the Karnak stones in Brittany, France. Stretching across miles of coastline, this vast collection of standing stones is one of the largest megalithic sites in the world. While their exact purpose remains debated, many researchers believe they played a role in guiding travelers and traders along ancient maritime routes. Positioned near natural harbors and rivers, the Karnak stones may have acted as navigational markers, helping sailors find safe passage through treacherous waters. But their significance didn't stop there. These stones also marked the boundaries of territories and served as gathering points for communities to exchange goods, ideas, and stories. The sheer scale of the site suggests it was more than just a local landmark. It was a crossroads of cultures where people from across Europe and beyond converged. Across the Mediterranean, the megaliths of the Arabian Peninsula tell a similar story. These structures, often arranged in circular patterns or long rows, are found in regions that were once part of ancient trade routes connecting Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and the Levant. Some of these megaliths, like the mustatils of Saudi Arabia, are thought to have been used as ceremonial sites or territorial markers, but their placement along well-traveled paths suggests they also played a role in trade. By marking key locations such as water sources, mountain passes, or oases, these stones helped traders navigate the harsh desert landscape, ensuring the safe transport of goods like incense, spices, and precious metals. The role of megaliths in trade wasn't just practical, it was symbolic. These massive stones were statements of power and permanence, signaling to travelers that they were entering a region controlled by a particular group or ruler. At the same time, they were places of cultural exchange where people from different backgrounds could meet, share knowledge, and forge alliances. The artifacts found near many megalithic sites, such as pottery, tools, and jewelry, reveal the extent of these exchanges, offering a glimpse into the vibrant trade networks that spanned the ancient world. As we explore the role of megaliths in trade, it's worth considering how these structures were more than just physical markers. They were bridges between cultures, connecting people across vast distances. But trade wasn't the only force that brought people together at these sites. many megaliths also served as centers of spiritual practice, where communities gathered to honor their gods, ancestors, and the natural world. This connection between commerce and spirituality takes us to the next chapter of the story, a closer look at the sacred rituals and beliefs tied to these ancient stones. The towering stones of megalithic sites were more than just feats of engineering. They were sacred spaces where ancient cultures came together to connect with the divine, honor their ancestors, and celebrate the rhythms of the natural world. These sites were the stages for rituals and ceremonies that reflected the spiritual beliefs and social fabric of the societies that built them. From solstice celebrations to ancestor worship, the practices performed at these monumental structures offer a glimpse into a world where the spiritual and the everyday were deeply intertwined. One of the most striking examples of this spiritual connection can be found at Newgrange in Ireland. This ancient passage tomb, older than both Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza, was designed to capture the winter solstice sunrise. Each year, as the sun climbs above the horizon, its light travels through a narrow passageway, illuminating the inner chamber for just a few minutes. This fleeting moment was likely a powerful symbol of rebirth and renewal, marking the return of longer days and the promise of new life. For the people who gathered here, this alignment wasn't just an astronomical event, it was a sacred ritual, a way to connect with the cycles of nature and the ancestors who watched over them. Across the globe, in the Andes Mountains, the ceremonial platforms of Machu Picchu tell a similar story. This ancient city, perched high above the clouds, was a place of pilgrimage and worship. The Intihuatana stone, often called the hitching post of the sun, is believed to have been used in rituals tied to the solstices. During these ceremonies, the Inca would honor Inti, the sun god, and give thanks for the life-giving energy of the sun. The precision with which these rituals were timed and performed reflects a deep reverence for the natural world and the belief that humanity was part of a greater cosmic order. But the spiritual significance of megalithic sites wasn't limited to solstice celebrations. Many of these structures served as places of ancestor worship, where communities gathered to honor their forebears and seek their guidance. In Brittany, France, the Karnak stones are thought to have been used in funerary rituals, with each stone representing a link between the living and the dead. These practices weren't just about remembering the past, they were about maintaining a connection with the spiritual realm, ensuring that the wisdom and protection of ancestors continued to guide the community. These rituals and ceremonies reveal much about the social structures of ancient cultures. They show us that these societies were deeply connected to the natural world, seeing themselves as part of a larger web of life. They also highlight the importance of community, as these gatherings brought people together to share in collective experiences that reinforced social bonds and cultural identity. As we reflect on the spiritual practices tied to these ancient sites, it's worth considering who was at the heart of these ceremonies. The role of women in megalithic societies is a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of these cultures. From their contributions to construction to their leadership in spiritual practices, women played a vital role in shaping the legacy of these monumental structures. This leads us to the next chapter of the story, the untold contributions of women in megalithic construction and society. For centuries, the story of megalithic construction has been dominated by images of male laborers and architects toiling under the sun to erect these monumental structures. But what if women played a far greater role in these projects than history has given them credit for? Recent archaeological discoveries and reinterpretations of ancient societies are shedding new light on the contributions of women, revealing a more inclusive and complex picture of who built these wonders and why. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence comes from skeletal remains found at megalithic sites. In places like Stonehenge and Karnak, archaeologists have uncovered graves of women buried with tools and artifacts typically associated with construction work, such as stone hammers and chisels. These findings suggest that women were not only present but actively involved in the physical labor of moving and shaping these massive stones. Far from being relegated to domestic roles, women may have worked alongside men, contributing their strength and skill to these monumental projects. But the role of women in megalithic societies wasn't limited to manual labor. In many cultures, women held positions of spiritual and social authority, guiding the design and purpose of these structures. Take the ancient matriarchal societies of Malta, for example. The temples of Haga, Kim, and Mnajdra, built around 5,000 years ago, are thought to have been centers of worship for a goddess cult. The architecture of these temples, with their curvilinear designs and womb-like chambers, reflects a deep connection to fertility and the cycles of life, themes often associated with female deities. It's likely that women played a central role in both the construction and the rituals performed within these sacred spaces. Similarly, in the Andes, the Inca civilization revered women as both spiritual and political leaders. The Coya, or queen, held a position of power second only to the Sopa Inca, and her influence extended to the construction of monumental sites like Machu Picchu. The design of the city, with its terraces, fountains, and alignment with celestial events, may have been guided by the Coya's vision, blending practicality with spiritual significance. These examples challenge the traditional narrative that ancient engineering was a male-dominated field. Instead, they suggest a more collaborative approach where gender roles were fluid and interdependent. Women may have contributed not only through physical labor but also through their knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and spiritual practices, shaping the very essence of these structures. As we uncover the hidden contributions of women in megalithic construction, it's impossible to ignore the broader implications for how we understand these ancient societies. Their inclusion in every aspect of these projects, from planning to execution to ritual, reflects a world where the contributions of all members were valued and essential. But the legacy of megalithic architecture doesn't end with the stones themselves. These monumental structures have left an indelible mark on art and culture, inspiring generations of artists, writers, and thinkers. From the symbolism of standing stones in modern literature to the geometric patterns of megalithic designs in contemporary art, the influence of these ancient marvels continues to resonate. This takes us to the next chapter of the story: how megalithic architecture has shaped the artistic and cultural landscape of the modern world. The towering stones of ancient megalithic sites have not only shaped the physical landscape but have also left an indelible mark on the world of art and culture. These monumental structures, with their enigmatic designs and mysterious origins, have captivated the imaginations of artists, writers, and filmmakers for centuries, inspiring works that blend history, myth, and creativity. From surrealist paintings to science fiction epics, the influence of megalithic architecture is as enduring as the stones themselves. Consider the surrealist movement of the early 20th century. Artists like Paul Nash and John Craxton were drawn to the haunting beauty of Stonehenge, using its stark, otherworldly forms to explore themes of time, memory, and the subconscious. Nash's paintings, in particular, capture the eerie stillness of the stones, transforming them into symbols of a timeless, almost dreamlike reality. These works reflect not just the visual impact of megalithic sites, but also their ability to evoke a sense of wonder and mystery that transcends the ordinary. Literature, too, has been profoundly shaped by these ancient wonders. Authors like Thomas Hardy, in his novel Tess of the D'Urbervilles, used Stonehenge as a backdrop for pivotal moments, imbuing the stones with a sense of inevitability and fate. More recently, science fiction writers have reimagined megalithic sites as the work of advanced alien civilizations, sparking a cultural obsession with the idea of ancient astronauts. Shows like Ancient Aliens and films like Stargate have popularized the notion that these structures were built with extraterrestrial help, blending historical intrigue with speculative fiction. Even in the realm of modern cinema, megalithic sites continue to inspire. The iconic opening sequence of Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey features a monolith that echoes the towering stones of ancient times, symbolizing the dawn of human consciousness and the mysteries of the cosmos. This connection between the ancient and the futuristic underscores the timeless appeal of megalithic architecture, reminding us that these structures are more than relics of the past. They are symbols of humanity's eternal quest for meaning. The enduring fascination with megalithic sites in popular culture reflects a deeper truth. These structures are not just physical landmarks but cultural touchstones. They challenge us to think beyond the limits of our understanding, inviting us to explore the boundaries between history, myth, and imagination. As we marvel at the artistic and cultural legacy of these ancient wonders, it's worth considering the stories left unfinished. Not all megalithic sites were completed, and some remain tantalizingly incomplete, their stones still lying in quarries or scattered across construction sites. What do these unfinished projects tell us about the challenges faced by ancient builders, and what secrets might they still hold? This question takes us into the next chapter of the story, the mysteries of unfinished megalithic sites and the clues they offer about the past. Among the towering achievements of ancient megalithic construction, there lies a fascinating category of sites, those left unfinished. These incomplete monuments scattered across the globe offer a rare and intimate glimpse into the challenges, ambitions, and even the missteps of ancient builders. From the colossal unfinished obelisk in Aswan to the abandoned quarries of Easter Island, these sites tell stories of ambition, struggle, and the limits of human ingenuity. Take the unfinished obelisk in Aswan, Egypt, for example. This massive granite block, still lying in its quarry, would have been the largest obelisk ever erected if completed. Measuring over 130 feet in length and weighing an estimated 1,200 tons, the obelisk was intended to stand as a testament to the power of the pharaohs. Yet it remains where it was carved, a silent witness to the immense challenges of megalithic construction. Cracks began to appear in the granite as it was being shaped, forcing the builders to abandon their work. Today, the unfinished obelisk serves as an open-air classroom, revealing the tools and techniques used by ancient stoneworkers. The marks left by their copper chisels and stone hammers are still visible, offering a tangible connection to the hands that once labored here. On the other side of the world, the quarries of Easter Island tell a different but equally compelling story. The island is famous for its iconic moai statues, but scattered across the slopes of Ronoroku, the volcanic quarry where the moai were carved, lie dozens of unfinished figures. Some are still attached to the bedrock, partially carved and waiting to be freed. Others lie abandoned mid-transport, as if the workers simply walked away. Theories abound as to why these projects were left incomplete. Some suggest environmental factors like deforestation made it impossible to continue. Others point to social upheaval or resource depletion. Whatever the reason, these unfinished moai offer a poignant reminder of the fragility of even the most ambitious human endeavors. What do these abandoned sites reveal about the techniques and challenges of megalithic construction? For one, they highlight the sheer scale of the effort required. Moving and shaping stones of this size was not just a matter of strength. It demanded precise planning, coordination, and problem-solving. The unfinished obelisk in Aswan, for instance, shows how even a single flaw in the stone could derail an entire project. Similarly, the abandoned moai of Easter Island underscore the logistical challenges of transporting massive statues across rugged terrain. These sites remind us that megalithic construction was as much about overcoming obstacles as it was about achieving perfection. But why were these projects left unfinished? Theories range from practical setbacks like material flaws or environmental changes to more complex social and political factors. In some cases, shifts in leadership or religious beliefs may have redirected resources away from these monumental tasks. In others, like Easter Island, ecological collapse may have forced communities to abandon their grandest ambitions. These incomplete sites invite us to consider the human stories behind the stones, the triumphs, the failures, and the moments when even the most determined builders had to walk away. As we reflect on these unfinished marvels, it's impossible not to wonder how they might have transformed the landscapes and cultures that produced them. What would the world look like if the Aswan obelisk had been raised, or if every moai on Easter Island had reached its final destination? These questions remind us that megalithic sites are not just static relics of the past, they are stories in progress, each one a testament to the dreams and struggles of those who came before us. But megaliths weren't just about construction and ambition. They also played a role in the conflicts that shaped ancient societies. From defensive walls to strategic markers, these monumental stones were often at the heart of ancient warfare. How did these towering structures influence battles, alliances, and the rise and fall of civilizations? That's where our journey takes us next. In the shadow of towering stones, the echoes of ancient warfare still linger. Far from being mere monuments or ceremonial sites, many megalithic structures played a crucial role in the battles and power struggles of their time. These massive stones weren't just symbols of spiritual or cultural significance, they were also tools of war, serving as fortresses, watchtowers, and statements of dominance that shaped the political and military landscapes of ancient civilizations. Take the Cyclopean walls of Mycenae in Greece, for example. These massive fortifications, built around 3,500 years ago, are named for their immense size, so large that later generations believed only the mythical Cyclopes could have moved them. The walls, some reaching heights of over 40 feet, were constructed from irregularly shaped stones, fitted together without mortar in a way that made them nearly impenetrable. Mycenae was a city built for war, and its walls were designed to withstand sieges, offering protection to those inside while intimidating potential invaders. The sheer scale of these fortifications wasn't just practical, it was a declaration of power, a reminder to enemies that Mycenae was a force to be reckoned with. Across the Atlantic, in the Andes Mountains, the stone walls of Sacsayhuaman tell a similar story. This massive fortress, built by the Inca, features enormous limestone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, fitted together with such precision that they've withstood centuries of earthquakes. The zigzagging walls, resembling the teeth of a puma, served both defensive and symbolic purposes. Strategically positioned above the Inca capital of Cusco, Sacsayhuaman was a stronghold that guarded the city while also projecting the Inca's military might. The site's design reflects a deep understanding of both engineering and warfare, combining practicality with a sense of grandeur that left no doubt about the empire's strength. But megalithic sites weren't just about defense, they also played a role in offense and territorial control. In places like the Karnak stones in Brittany, the alignment of standing stones may have served as boundary markers, delineating territories and deterring rival groups from encroaching. Similarly, the stone circles and dolmens scattered across Europe often marked strategic locations, such as hilltops or river crossings, that were crucial for controlling trade routes and resources. These structures weren't just passive landmarks, they were active participants in the politics of power, shaping the flow of conflict and conquest. The role of megaliths in warfare also extended to their symbolic power. A massive stone fortress or a towering ceremonial site wasn't just a physical barrier, it was a psychological one. The sheer effort required to build these structures sent a clear message to enemies. This civilization had the resources, organization, and determination to protect what was theirs. In a world where perception often shaped reality, these monumental sites were as much about projecting strength as they were about withstanding attack. As we explore the military significance of these ancient structures, it's worth considering how they reflect the broader strategies and ambitions of the societies that built them. From the fortified walls of Mycenae to the defensive terraces of Sacsayhuaman, these sites remind us that megalithic architecture was often as much about survival and dominance as it was about spirituality and art. But what lies ahead for the study of these ancient marvels? As technology advances and new discoveries emerge, the field of megalithic research is entering an exciting new era. From cutting-edge imaging techniques to groundbreaking archaeological finds, the future promises to unravel even more of the mysteries hidden within these stones. This takes us to the next chapter of the story, the future of megalithic research and the untold secrets waiting to be uncovered. As we stand on the brink of a new era in archaeology, the future of megalithic research is brighter and more exciting than ever before. Advances in technology are opening doors to discoveries that were once unimaginable, offering fresh insights into these ancient wonders and the civilizations that built them. From high-resolution imaging to underwater exploration, the tools at our disposal are transforming how we study and understand these monumental structures. One of the most promising technologies is LiDAR, or light detection and ranging. By using laser pulses to map the Earth's surface, LiDAR can reveal hidden features beneath dense vegetation or layers of soil. This technique has already uncovered lost cities in the jungles of Central America and revealed intricate networks of roads and settlements around Stonehenge. As LiDAR becomes more accessible, it's likely to uncover even more megalithic sites in unexplored regions, shedding light on civilizations that have long been forgotten. Underwater archaeology is another frontier brimming with potential. Sites like the submerged ruins of Yonaguni in Japan and the sunken city of Dwarka off the coast of India suggest that many ancient structures may lie beneath the waves preserved by the ocean's depths. With advancements in submersible technology and sonar mapping, researchers are now able to explore these underwater sites with unprecedented precision. Who knows what secrets these submerged stones might hold? Perhaps entire chapters of human history waiting to be rediscovered. Preservation is just as critical as discovery. As climate change and human activity threaten these fragile sites, new methods are being developed to protect them for future generations. Techniques like 3D scanning and digital modeling allow us to create virtual replicas of these structures, ensuring that even if the physical stones are lost, their legacy will endure. Organizations like UNESCO are also working to raise awareness and secure funding for conservation efforts, but the responsibility extends to all of us. These sites are not just relics of the past, they are a shared heritage, a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of humanity. The possibilities for future research are endless. Could we one day uncover the exact methods ancient builders used to move and shape these massive stones? Might we find evidence of technologies or knowledge that challenge our understanding of history? As we continue to explore, one thing is certain: the story of megalithic architecture is far from over. Each discovery brings us closer to unraveling the mysteries of these ancient marvels, reminding us of the boundless potential of human curiosity and innovation. As we reflect on the future of megalithic research, it's worth pausing to consider the journey we've taken together. From the towering stones of Stonehenge to the submerged ruins of Yonaguni, we've explored the ingenuity, spirituality, and cultural significance of these ancient structures. But what does it all mean for us today? What lessons can we draw from the past to guide our future? These questions bring us to the final chapter of our story, a summary of the key insights we've uncovered and the enduring legacy of megalithic architecture. As we reach the end of our journey through the architectural genius of ancient megaliths, it's impossible not to stand in awe of what these civilizations achieved. The precision, scale, and sheer ambition of these structures defy the limitations of their time, leaving us with more questions than answers. How did they carve, move, and assemble stones weighing hundreds of tons with such accuracy? How did they align these monuments with celestial events, harnessing the rhythms of the cosmos? And perhaps most importantly, what can their achievements teach us about the boundless potential of human ingenuity? From the towering stones of Stonehenge to the intricate walls of Sacsayhuaman, these ancient marvels are more than just relics of the past. They are testaments to a level of knowledge and skill that continues to inspire us today. They remind us that history is not a linear progression but a tapestry of innovation, creativity, and resilience. The builders of these sites didn't just work with stone, they shaped the very fabric of their cultures, weaving together science, spirituality, and art in ways that still resonate across the centuries. These structures also challenge our assumptions about the past. They force us to reconsider the timeline of human achievement and to ask whether there might have been civilizations far more advanced than we've ever imagined. What if the secrets hidden within these stones hold the key to unlocking a forgotten chapter of human history? The possibility is as thrilling as it is humbling, reminding us that there is still so much to discover. And while the mysteries of these ancient sites may never be fully unraveled, their legacy lives on in the innovations they inspire. From earthquake-resistant architecture to sustainable building practices, the lessons of megalithic construction continue to shape our modern world. They remind us that the challenges of the past, whether moving massive stones or aligning structures with the stars, are not so different from the challenges we face today. The solutions may change, but the spirit of curiosity and determination remains the same. As we close this chapter, I encourage you to keep exploring these ancient wonders, whether through books, travel, or even virtual tours. Each site has a story to tell, a piece of history waiting to be uncovered, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. What fascinates you most about these structures? Do you think we'll ever fully understand how they were built, or will they always remain shrouded in mystery? Share your ideas in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation alive. To leave you with a final thought, consider this. The ancient builders of these sites looked at the same stars we see today, the same sun and moon that rise and set with unerring precision. They saw in these celestial bodies not just light but meaning, a connection between the heavens and the earth, between the past and the future. In their hands, stone became more than material, it became a bridge to the infinite. As we stand in the shadow of their achievements, we're reminded that the greatest monuments are not just made of stone, but of the dreams and aspirations of those who built them. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the architectural genius of ancient megaliths. Until next time, keep wondering, keep exploring, and remember, the past is not just a place to visit, it's a story to